Most of us have clothes that we've loved for years, maybe even decades, but it's harder than ever to find clothes that will stand the test of time. If you're looking for more pieces designed to last, you can't go wrong with American Giant. From hoodies and t-shirts to denim and more, they've got everything you need to build a wardrobe that you'll be proud of for years to come. All American Giant clothing is created with a commitment to doing things better, from the materials they use down to the last stitch in every piece. And everything is made right here in America, in partnership with people and communities. Because keeping things local ensures the kind of quality you'll appreciate as soon as you receive your order. Discover the American Giant difference today. Shop wardrobe essentials that last a lifetime at american-giant.com and get 20% off your first order when you use code LT23 at checkout. That's 20% off your first order at american-giant.com. Promo code LT23.
This is Dream Power Radio, the place where your dreams turn into reality. Here is your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman.
Hello, and welcome to Dream Power Radio. This is the place where we talk about dreams, both daytime and nighttime dreams, and how you can use them to make the internal shift to a life you love and rediscover the truth of who you really are. Almost 2 decades ago, the movie The Secret introduced millions to the concept of the law of attraction, the idea that you can manifest whatever you want out of life. But too many people didn't fully understand what it really meant. And when it didn't work for them, they dismissed the whole idea as a hoax. But not everyone. My guest, Neo-Positivity, took the ideas behind the law of attraction to heart. And as a result, he went from being a police officer to a messenger for transformation. He's here today to explain how you can use the law of attraction for your own personal growth so that you can live your dream life. Welcome to Dream Power Radio, Neo.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for such a great introduction. I like how you swapped me from police officer to that messenger.
Well, we're going to get into that because I say Neo, it's not the name you were born with, right?
No, my birth name is Nehemiah, which I kind of just found out not too long ago I think it means new beginning, like Neo and Maya. So that's pretty cool that I've been led down this path. So
How fitting for you.
Yeah, I'm on it. I like it. Things like that, I let be my confirmation. All right, just keep this. Why you gotta keep going? You're meant to do this.
So why Neo-Positivity?
Well, they started calling me Neo from the Matrix, with the whole police department and me running around doing all kind of crazy stuff. And then after that, with the whole positivity, it just kind of became a thing. But originally that was the name of this philosophy, so to speak, that I created, where you take the law of attraction and you get rid of some stuff, and you take religions and you get rid of certain stuff, and you end up with this perfect system. So that's actually what Neo-Positivity is. It just became a stage name for me as time went on.
Mm-hmm. And also explained your philosophy. So it does double duty. Yes.
That's where you got to do it. You got to make sure it's happening in the background. That's why I always love wearing this Thoughts Become Things shirt. I want to be a walking billboard for awareness or consciousness, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. But first you traveled the path of where you were working as a police officer, and then you saw the movie The Secret, and what happened after that?
I was obsessed. I mean, it didn't take long in the movie before I was lining up. It was like puzzle. It was like every event in my life had puzzle pieces missing, and they all got filled in immediately. It was an upload/download of information. So anyway, I got obsessed. I knew that meditation would be the fastest and easiest and smoothest way to fully implement the law of attraction in my life and learn more about the law of attraction. So I immediately started trying to learn how to meditate, which it wasn't, I was just like everybody else. I'm like, why won't my mind stop doing this? Like, calm down. But then I used my little cheat code, which I got from the movie The Secret, where they say, I'm so happy and thankful for, ... Hold on a sec. So I said, I'm so happy and thankful that I know how to meditate. I'm so happy and thankful that I'm great at meditating. I'm so happy and thankful that I enjoy meditating. And so I kept on that. And I remember that was the 16th day of trying. And I would say failing for the first 16 days, with the thoughts just going wrong randomly, seemingly randomly. When I started doing that exercise, it was done from there. I immediately started liking it more and more to the point where it became one of my favorite activities. And it still is, one of my favorite activities. So
what do you get out of meditation?
A couple things. Being present is the basis for all the mental exercises I've created and all the ones I've heard of. So you get that out of meditation. You also get stillness, peace, and a peace of mind type in that moment. But what the most important thing you get is your brain is like, picture a chain, chugga, just chugging away for 30, 40, 50 years that you've been alive. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to try to slow it down because you just got super bad news and you got to figure your way out of it. No, that's not how we can't just slow it down. That'd be like shooting a BB gun at a freight train. You're not even going to do anything to its progression. So in order to quiet the mind and learn how to quiet the mind, you have to first practice quieting the mind, which by definition is meditation. And that's what led me to want to do it in the first place, because I knew that I was going to have to, for one, quiet the mind, make my obsessive thinking, its current state of mind, and most of the people walking today is obsessive thinking. That's what psychology calls it. If I can find a way to shut that down a little bit, slow it down a little bit, that was the goal. And I knew meditation was going to be the only way to make that happen. So it's all around. You breathe better, which does different things to your body, your mentality, being able to stop. It's just all around better in 85 different ways. Meditation, it's everything I thought it was going to be. I basically meditate every night from midnight till 2 a.m. The family's asleep, no worries. Nobody's up driving around with no food. Who's got to cook, where go? No, life is calm. I can get the deepest I can get. And I love it because I do it in my trailer, which means in between quiet time, if I'm restless because I got a lot of stuff on my mind or I got a big project coming up, I can stand up and I can walk and I can talk outside verbally, to the universe, get responses, get information back. You ask a question, you're going to get an answer, all that good stuff. So yeah, that's part of my nightly thing every single night, no matter where I'm at, almost every night. That's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, anybody listening to this on the podcast or on the radio station won't see what's behind you, which is a T-shirt, and actually the shirts that you're wearing with the words "Thoughts Become Things." So tell me about that.
That's from the movie The Secret. It just shaped everything for me. That's the reason why I like to use fear with my clients. If I can get you to fear something, I can get you to change the way you act. Because change is hard, like going to the gym and people get tired and eating healthy, they get tired of that. But if you fear something, your insides are going to wake you up to that. And that was my whole thing. If I could remind myself that my thoughts become things, then I will remind myself to be careful of what I'm thinking about, careful what headspace I'm in. So I got it put on a shirt because I just wanted everybody else to get this message everywhere I can go. Like I said, I want to be the walking billboard for this message and a reminder for everybody. My neighbor might have saw me outside yesterday with this shirt on. Tomorrow he'll see me outside with this shirt on, and both times he'll get a reminder to be careful what he's focusing on. So yes, it's written on a shirt. I got poker chips made up for people so they can, have them, keep them in their pocket.
I want to go back to something you said a little while ago, which is that you use fear. Usually we aim to conquer our fear, not use it. So how do you use your fear?
Well, I discovered something a long time ago. I was in a broom closet and it was pitch black. And I was scared because I knew if I reached my hand out, I was going to either hit the mop or the broom or maybe knock over some cleaning solution. And I had to find a door handle. So the fear is always going to be there. You're never going to be able to conquer fear. It's situational. You could be happy for a whole week, then something happens, gives you reason to fear. The fear is always going to be there. So we might as well use it to our advantage. And the only way I could think to use it to my advantage was exactly that. Make sure that when you feel it's really pain. Any type of anger or fear, or feeling bad, you're going to feel like a knot in your chest go down. Like even if you try to lie to yourself, you're going to feel that knot go down and it feel kind of icky. And when you smile, you went up, and laugh, it's going to go up and it's going to feel really good. Whenever that knot drops down, that's that indicator. When you feel that, you know, whatever I'm thinking about right now, I need to change. My tomorrow depends on it. My kids' tomorrow depends on it. And that is, it's the only positive way I can think of to use fear.
Yeah, it's funny. You go back to the positive, which is who you are. But I want to also go back to your life. So after you saw The Secret, you were actually able to use what you learned from it to retire. So how did that happen?
A boatload of mental exercises learned from books like The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle and A New Earth, this movie, The Command, just trying different exercises over the next 7 months and seeing what worked, trying an exercise for a phone call, for this, for that. I had my family and friends trying this new crazy concept that Neo came up with or Neo discovered. And certain things that worked, we'd scrap the stuff that didn't. But in the 7th month, the last month, I was taking this test and I came up with this exercise called the Watcher exercise. Absolutely amazing. It's one of my strongest and best mental exercises. But I did that in the beginning of November. I saw the movie March 10th. Beginning of November, I discovered the Watcher exercise. And November 28th was my last day on the streets. And I was just done after that. And, it took time. I'm not going to sit here and say it happened overnight. You're going to have to put a lot into this. A lot of energy goes into retiring. That's a lifetime type thing. A lot more energy, certainly, than a jacket or a purse that you want from the mall. So time, repetition over and over throughout the day, doing mental exercises, keeping in check, staying positive, staying focused, and staying present.
You have to tell me more about this Watcher exercise.
Oh, man. Long story short, I was taking this government test in a small room, no windows. It wasn't like a camera or anything. It was just a room. No windows, one door, one little table. And I took the test. And when I got up, I went to walk out. I kind of stumbled over the table. My foot caught the table. And when I stumbled, I kind of looked over my shoulder and smiled. I felt embarrassed. Who just saw me stumble? Like I said, there was no cameras. It was just me in the room with no windows. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I know I can feel something. Just watch me stumble. And I like to study things that all people have in common. We all laugh, no matter what country you're from, we all laugh. So I knew everyone could feel this essence watching you. And for anyone who says they don't know what I'm talking about, this is what I normally do. I'll say, hold on, don't move. And I'll go behind them and I'll put my phone on the counter and then I'll come back. I say, don't look at what I just did. And I say, all right, go ahead, finish talking. And then they'll start talking and I'll say, wait. Just so you know, I'm live streaming. Don't turn around. I'm live streaming on my phone on the bookshelf. And you'll see them. They'll go, what? And they could feel it on the back of their neck, like something is watching them. And then I'll tell them, I'll say, no, I wasn't. But you know that feeling now, don't you? And that's the feeling, that watching presence that I'm talking about. So anyway, I wanted to study this Watcher that I call it. And the only way I knew how, which was to sit with it, to watch it, watch me, and see where my mind took me, where my intuition took me. I like to do that rather than pick up books and see how other people discover their truth and their mental way of doing things. Why would I do that when I could discover how I take it, and learn more that way? So immediately upon getting still and just watching it, I knew, I don't know how, but I just knew that it knew what I was thinking. It knew I was making a conscious effort to watching it. And not only did it know my thoughts, but it knew all of my thoughts. And I don't know how I knew, I just felt it. And I thought to myself, watching me at all times, even when I'm not paying attention, can hear all of my thoughts, even when I'm not paying attention, kind of sounds like God. And if I'm right, this is the closest a human will come to being able to physically feel and interact, with God so far, I guess I should say. And by God, I just mean the universe or whatever you guys call it wherever you're at. I said, if I'm right and this is God, I want to spend time with him, and that's what I started doing. I call it compounding exercises, like visualization. Visualize yourself on the beach is one exercise. Go and put your toes in the sand at the park with your kid and visualize, close your eyes. So anytime I wanted to picture myself retired, I had this check that I put in my pocket. And when I would pull out the check and say, I'm retired, how would it feel to be retired? It would be amazing to be retired. I'd do that, but I'd picture myself retired with God watching me, happy with me, celebrating together. And less than a month later, like I said, that was it.
That is an amazing story, amazing use of the law of attraction in practice. But we're going to have to take a little short break here. We are speaking with Neo Positivity on Dream Power Radio, and we'll be right back. If you're not pleased with the trajectory of your life, the time to begin your own personal transformation is now, and your dreams can help pave the way. How? By tapping into your unvoiced confidence. What is unvoiced confidence, you say? It's the acceptance of your abilities and qualities. It's a state of mind coming from liking and even loving yourself, and feeling free to say or do anything you want without concern for the judgment of others. You were born confident, but may have had it chipped away little by the negative self-beliefs you've picked up over the years. If you're looking for the heightened energy, clarity of thought, and the feeling of being more alive that comes from self-confidence, you can rediscover it by paying attention to your dreams. Need some help doing this? Go to my website, thedreamcoach.net, and sign up for my complimentary dream discovery session. I can help show you how your dreams can help you return to the confident person you were always meant to be. Again, go to thedreamcoach.net. thedreamcoach.net.
Welcome back to Dream Power Radio with your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman.
Yes, welcome back to Dream Power Radio. I'm your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman, and we're talking about the law of attraction with Neo Positivity. Well, Neo, something that seems to hold most people back when trying to put these principles to use is their ego. Talk to me how the ego wants to keep us small and what we can do about it.
Oh man, the ego, you better understand, when you have a better understanding of something, you can live with it better. And that was my whole thing with the ego. I wanted to know, like I said, it was torture trying to meditate. For the first 16 days, as soon as I stopped, it was just, you can't do this, you can't do that. How are you going to do that? How are you going to pull that off? And so I immediately wanted to study the ego. I need to know more about it so I can work with it somehow. And what I learned was at the ego, for one, it's a part of you. And hating it is hating you, which manifests more of you hating a part of you, which is something we don't want to do. The ego is a part of you. Love it, live with it. It is just doing its job. And that's the second part. The ego has one job: to bring you back to this current moment. So when you picture yourself somewhere else as a different looking person, as a different status of person, the ego bring you back to this moment. It will use the subconscious, which has stored everything you've ever seen and heard, as its database of information to pull you back. You say you're a millionaire, it's going to show you your bank statement. Say, no, you're not. You say, I'm in the Bahamas and it feels good to be on a beach. It's going to say, no, you're not. You're at your house in Florida or wherever you're at. It's just doing its job, which is to keep you present. Now, why does it want to keep you present? Why is it fighting so hard? The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, an amazing book. Actually, right here, for those of you who can see. It doesn't acknowledge the future or the past. And you got to think about it. Have you ever touched, tasted, or seen anything in the future? No. When you experienced it, it was in this seemingly reoccurring current moment. And the same thing goes for the past. That's just memories of previous current moments. So the subconscious nor the ego don't acknowledge the future or the past. So when you start to spend time there, it'll cut you off in a heartbeat to get you back to the present. When you think about the future or the past, you're basically watering seeds. You're manifesting your version of the future into your life. But when you're present, That's when you're letting God's plan unfold. That's why the present is called the present, because it's a present. That's why the subconscious wants you here. That's why it uses the ego to get you here, because this is where it wants you to be. And this is where you belong. When you're thinking about the future, you're making this moment a means to an end. And that's that. If anything's blasphemy, that's blasphemy. When you get present and you get home and you learn how to meditate, you'll notice, and I know you've noticed this, Debbie, when you get real quiet and you're not worried about that next thing you're going to purchase or that last thing you purchased and whether it was a good purchase, and you're here in this moment, it only takes a couple of seconds before you start to appreciate something. Yourself, your health, air, the computer, you'll start to appreciate something automatically. And that's where you want to be. The brain is a muscle, it has muscle memory. You have to change your thought process. And that comes with reprogramming and all this other stuff. It's a slippery slope, and it's a lot. It's hours of intense work involved. It's literally the hardest thing you'll ever do in your life. 100% is trying to control your thoughts, but it yields the greatest reward a human could possibly have, which is the ability to create your future.
Right, which brings us back to thoughts become things. Exactly. But I tell you, isn't language wonderful? I mean, the word present, it means right here, right now, but it also means a present. It's a gift to us. And I love the wordplay in that.
The wordplay, yeah. Old school wordplay from a long time ago.
It is, but it's fun. Getting back to the law of attraction itself, can you use it to manifest a life partner?
Yes, 100%. I have one video out there called Manifesting Actions. Basically, the whole law of attraction just depends on you seeing it before it happens. Just like, not to get too preacher, but Mark 11:24, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you already have it and it will be yours. If you're walking around lacking and feeling the lack of a spouse, you're going to continue to feel the lack of the spouse. But if you can get into that play and make believe phase where you remember how it was to be cherished and held and cooked for and appreciated and all that other stuff, you manifest it. Like just now, while I was saying that, I wasn't just saying it. I was emotionally attached to what I was saying. I guarantee I'll be feeling those emotions again soon. I'll give everybody this. When you have a thought, I didn't know this, but when you have a thought, it travels down your spine and releases from your lower back like an energy wave. Now, that thought then travels across the entire universe. Third law of motion demands that every action has an opposite and equal reaction, which means the universe has to do whatever it has to do to make that thought travel back to you opposite and be thought again, which is the equal reaction. Now, that's law of attraction kind of in a nutshell explained. But here's why I said all that. If you say, I love life, 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 I love life 10 times as an affirmation, you're kind of sending out hollow thoughts. They have no strength. Just like when I was just saying, about, being cared for and cooked for and all that other stuff, I was feeling it. That's how you strengthen that thought as it gets sent out with emotion. So your affirmations have to have some kind of emotion or they're kind of sent out as hollow thoughts. So make sure you're on top of that if you're going to do affirmations, which are absolutely amazing. I suggest them. They're probably my number one most used mental exercise.
So give me an example of how you would use this in practicing your affirmations.
Let's say you wanted to retire and you say, I'm retired, I'm retired, I'm retired, I'm retired. Okay, the ego's going to keep kicking you in the back and saying, no, you're not, no, you're not, no, you're not. But by the fifth or sixth time, your brain is going to start to run scenarios of you being retired. So then you get to sit in it and water that seed. You get to vibrate at that frequency of being retired. And any two things that vibrate at the same frequency will naturally pull towards each other. So you will pull yourself towards that retirement. If you want to get past the ego, because that is a little bit harder, ask yourself, how would it feel to be retired? Now, see, when you ask that, the ego can't step in and say, oh, you're not, because you didn't say you're retired. You can't, because you said, how would it feel to? You're just asking a simple question. Your subconscious will answer it. The ego will sit back and allow the subconscious to answer the question, which is, it would feel amazing. Life would be so much easier. I wake up when I want. Now you're spending time in that headspace. Now you're watering that seed. You're vibrating at that frequency. And every second more, you're vibrating at that frequency. You're basically pulling the thing toward you. Think of it like coins. If you spread coins out on a table and you're the coin in the middle and your dream is the coin on the edge, as you vibrate at that coin's frequency, it'll slide towards you. But all the other coins in between are now shifting. They're moving out of that coin's way. That's the phone calls, the meetings, the people talking about you that are going to get you to that goal. And then eventually you either make it or you remember that that's not real. And you start watering the seed of what is real. This house, this car, this current position at my job. And you start keeping that close to you, thus pushing that other coin back further away. So you have to keep spending time there. Keep spending time on that headspace over and over and over again until it's there. Know it like it already happened. When I say keep spending time in that headspace, that's what I mean. So this is 100% completely on you to get it done or to not get it done.
And again, the power of language in what you say. Not only your thoughts become things, but your language also helps determine where you go. You hold monthly summits where you talk about this. So tell me a bit about them.
Oh, man. Well, as soon as I retired, I just started interviewing people that knew about the law of attraction, because where I'm from in New Jersey, you're surrounded by New York, Philly, and Delaware and Atlantic. It's just all negativity coming from all directions. You say law of attraction, they've never even heard of it. They don't want to hear about that hippie stuff. And so I knew I had to reach out outside of my area. And that's what I did. So I just started interviewing people one at a time for 13 years. Because when I interview people, we get such great information out of each other. It becomes a great learning experience and we end up sharing exercises. I said, you know what? Why do one person at a time when I can have a whole group of people all shooting ideas off each other, an audience asking them questions, lightning rounds, digging deep, no fluff answers, be positive and stay No. I want to get deep. I want to know what you do when your mind goes to that negative rabbit hole, how you keep it out of there all day, not just this moment. You know, I try to get deep with all the questions and have some really good speakers come on. So that is every month. It's on the third Saturday of every month, but April 16th is the next Neo-Positivity Thoughts Become Things Summit from noon to 4 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be doing it on Zoom, but it'll be live on like a bunch of different platforms. So anything neo-positivity related, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, if we can get it on Instagram, because it's 4 hours. I just want it everywhere. It's a free summit, because everybody else's summit costs like $500 or $1,000. And I know that a good 75% of the world is going to say that they can't afford to spend that on a self-help summit. And I know that we need that 75% to make change.
So somebody who wants to attend one of these summits, how do they get access to it?
Neo-Positivity's Thoughts Become Things Summit Facebook group. I'll actually send you the link, Debbie, so you can throw it up there for me. It's the Facebook group, and that is where you'll be able to watch the summit free and just get all the information. And there's a landing page. There's a spot on the website where you could search your topics: relationships, meditation, childhood trauma, whatever it is. I've done over 1,000 live streams. They're all on there, just interviewing different people and different areas.
Well, thank you so much for being on Dream Power Radio today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And thank you for being what I call a soldier in the war on negativity. Where everybody who wants to be positive has a choice to wake up and just be positive in their mind, or to try to spread it out. And you spread it out, you know, with your information, with your podcast, with your smile and your energy. So thank you for that. And thank you everyone for listening.
Well, we've been speaking with Law of Attraction Master, Neo-Positivity. I hope you've enjoyed today's program. If you have, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Until next time, this is Debbie Spector-Weissman saying, sweet dreams, everybody.
You've been listening to Dream Power Radio with your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman. For more information on Debbie or to sign up for her newsletter, go to dreampowerradio.com. This has been Dream Power Radio.